our Papa Piggy flies and we don't have to do pedalling.
Me too.
Except, if we did have to do pedalling, then you would have to be the peddler. Oh, hi!
I would have to be the peddler. Hi there. Excuse me, just clearing something up here. Why?
Because, Quiff, you see, I just think you would be a cool peddler. Like, say, Boris Boohoo in his Clatterbanger.
Boris isn't a cool peddler. Boris is really lazy. I am nothing like Boris in his Clatterbanger, am I? Oh, hey, that reminds me, Wiggy. Do you remember when Boris filled the Clatterbanger with shampoo?
Oh, I so do! You're not going to believe this. It was a warm, sunny day in Hairyland.
And Ma, Minnie and Pa Ha Ha were going to the curly swirly meadow to pick hairy berries.
So they got into the Fluffer Puffer Poop and off they went.
They're going on a journey in the Fluffer Puffer Poop, poop, poop.
Poop, poop.
They're going on a journey in a happy hairy group.
Poop, poop.
Poop, poop.
They zoom, zoom, zoom through Hairyland. They puffer, puffer, chomp through the forest of trees. Oh, they're going on a journey in the Fluffer Puffer Poop, poop, poop. Zoom, zoom, whiz, whiz. Poop, poop. Zoom, zoom, whiz, whiz.
But up on the hill at Chateau Shampoo, someone was busy. Can you guess who? Boris Boohoo! What's he gonna do?
Boris was loading up the Clatterbanger with loads of bottles of shampoo to sell in Hairytown.
Boise was helping.
Kind of.
We were sitting in the big blue barrel, watching.
Not going well, is it, Quiz?
So far, so bad.
At last, all the bottles were loaded into the Clatterbanger. Boris was all ready to set off.
Yep, this was the day the Clatterbanger went to Hairytown.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh
The Clatterbanger was too full of shampoo bottles to budge, so Boise had to push it. And it started to move.
And off went Boris to Hairytown.
And we followed on our puffer picking.
The boo boo Clatterbanger's coming down the hill with the Clatterbanger vanity boo. The boo boo Clatterbanger's coming down the hill. And what is Boris going to do? And what is Boris going to do? Ooh! By the time he reached the curly swirly meadow, Boris was huffing and puffing.
But on he went past Pa, Ma and Minnie, who were picking hairy berries.
The Hairies could see that Boris was off to Hairytown with all his shampoo. Good luck, Boris!
Boris stopped suddenly.
He had an idea.
Then we flew in. Wiggy panicked, and we landed in the Fluffer Puffer Poop.
Boris thought that while the Hairies were busy, he could borrow the Fluffer Puffer Poop to go to Hairytown.
So he loaded it up with his shampoo.
We were hiding inside. Bit squishy, isn't it? Oh! Oops!
In he got. But there was a problem.
No key! So he couldn't start the Fluffer Puffer Poop. Oh, he needed the key.
Which meant he needed a plan. Boris needs a plan, he needs a plan as quick as he can. He needs to plan a big surprise.
He needs to plan his next disguise.
What'll it be?
Mr. Metalcrank, the car mechanic.
And off he went, back to the meadow.
And in no time at all, Mr. Meadowcrank was asking Pa if he'd like him to take the Flufferpuffer poop to his garage and wash it and pump up the tyres.
The Ha Ha Hairies liked the idea, and Pa handed over the keys.
Mr. Meadowcrank said he'd bring it back later.
Then at last he got it going, and off he went. But he didn't go to Hairytown. Oh no! Boris just had fun driving the Flufferpuffer poop all around Hairyland.
And we couldn't escape because he'd see us.
Whoa! When Boris got to the hairy apple orchard, the Flufferpuffer poop slowed down.
And stopped.
And it wouldn't start again.
We still couldn't escape because he'd see us.
Shut up!
Well, at least if we never get out of here, we'll have enough shampoo to wash our hair every day, Wiggy.
Do you think we'll never get out of here?
Don't be silly. Only kidding.
I knew that. Just then, Boris grabbed a bottle. He decided to fill up the Flufferpuffer poop with shampoo to see if that would make it go.
But it didn't make it go. Instead, this is what happened.
Yes! Bubbles were coming out of the exhaust pipe. Boris was so cross.
But things were about to get worse.
Nana Ha Ha was coming.
Boris ran to find the Clatterbanger.
Nana was going to pick hairy berries. She thought it was odd to see the Flufferpuffer poop in the apple orchard.
But at last, now was our chance to escape. So off we flew.
Boris found the Clatterbanger and pedalled off as fast as he could.
Pa was wondering why Mr. Meadowcrank hadn't brought the Flufferpuffer poop back yet.
And then Nana arrived.
She pointed to where she'd seen the Flufferpuffer poop.
Everyone was very confused.
At last, Boris arrived back home. He was exhausted, so he slumped down on his bushy bed.
It flew! And the Ha Ha Hairies found the Flufferpuffer poop and saw that it was full of Boris's shampoo.
And we were watching from a hairy apple tree.
Then suddenly they stopped laughing. And Pa guessed what had happened.
Mr. Meadowcrank must have taken the Flufferpuffer poop and Boris's shampoo.
Mr. Meadowcrank was a naughty thief. He must have been playing a trick on poor Boris.
But Pa was sure Boris would want his shampoo back. So he got into the Flufferpuffer poop and tried to start it.
Mr. Meadowcrank had filled it up with shampoo instead of
Flufferpuffer poop juice.
Shanna!
Ma, Nana and Minnie went back to hairyberry picking.
And Pa set off to deliver the shampoo to Boris.
And we followed on the Papa Picky.
Before long, Pa arrived at Chateau Shampoo.
And we landed in the hairy cactus tree.
Boris had to pretend he had no idea how his shampoo had come to be in the Flufferpuffer poo. He thanked Pa for bringing it home to him.
So now Boris Boohoo is right back where he started.
Yeah, kind of serves him right.
Soon Boise and Pa had loaded up the Clatterbanger with Boris's shampoo.
And then pushed and pushed.
And off went Boris to Hairytown.
I wonder if he ever got there.
Who knows? But if he'd asked to borrow the Fluffer Puffer Poop, I'm sure Pa would have lent it.
But Boris won't ask, will he? He borrows things without asking.
Yup, silly Boris. He only had to ask.
Wiggy, would you lend Boris the Popper Picky if he asked?
The Popper Picky?
Yeah, if Boris asked nicely, would you lend him the Popper Picky?
Of course.
Seriously? Well, would you really?
Yes, but you see, Quiff, he wouldn't ask, would he?
Oh, I suppose not.